What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Good Wolf Project. I'm your host, Jerry Scarlato, and today I want to talk to you about why you should eliminate negative people from your life. Now, I had a completely different topic in mind today, which I'll save for another episode. And quite literally, 5 minutes ago, I changed the topic, and I'll give you the backstory of why that is. Well, I'll give you the backstory of what happened in the past, and then I'll tell you what happened today so that you can understand why it is important to eliminate negative fucking people from your life. Oh, I gotta take a breath. So, a little bit of a backstory. If you've been listening for a long time, then you know most of this. If you haven't been listening for a long time, this will be this will be new for you. So, about 18 months ago or so, I got out of a gym that I owned for 10 years. I say that I closed the gym. I kind of sold it, but when you sell something, typically there's some exchange of money, and that part didn't happen. The gym's still open, but nonetheless, I gave the gym to somebody else. The reason for leaving the gym was manyfold. There were a lot of things going on. I was in the middle of a divorce. There were a lot of things going on with our team. We had a team member leave, and then we hired somebody new, and then that person wanted to leave, so that was a headache. And then we had a whole bunch of turmoil in our community because of my divorce. People like being nosy, so they were getting into my business, and they were making decisions on if they were going to be around because of what was going on in my personal life, and on and on and on. So there were a lot of things. One of the things also was my relationship with the landlords, with the people that own the building. Now, these people had also owned the building that we were in previously. We were in one location for about 3 or 4 years, and then we were in this last location for about 5 years. So I'd known these people for close to 10 years, and I had given them hundreds of thousands of dollars over the course of that time. And we always had tension in our relationship. And so one of the factors that went into me getting out of the gym was that relationship. Being at that place and making decisions and feeling like I always had to be tiptoeing around the people that own the building was not a healthy relationship and was not conducive to our community, to our team, and to my future growth or the community's future growth. It just sucked. So I, of course, played a gigantic part in that. I am stubborn and hard headed. And when people push hard against me, then I push hard back, which is not very productive. And I've learned a lot about myself in that way over the last couple of years. I've known that about myself for a long time, but I have worked to adjust that a lot over the last couple of years. The landlords were also very similar, very the same, but they were also the kind of people, if you stepped on their toes, and by stepped on their toes, it didn't necessarily mean like do something outlandish or outrageous to hurt them. It just meant not go along with what they say, not go along with what they want, not go along with what they believed was right. If you stepped outside of that line, then they rebelled against you. And since I'm typically not the kind of person that follows along for the sake of following along, that's a big reason why we clashed. So I understand my part in it was certainly challenging. Nonetheless, it just was, it just sucked being in a situation that you just couldn't make a decision without feeling like you had to, you're stepping on glass or, having to tiptoe around things to actually get shit done. So recently, my girlfriend is a strength conditioning coach, and she has been wanting to see the gym. She's like, hey, I'd like to know what it looked like. It was a big part of your life. I'd like to go see it. And it'd be great to, it'd be great to check it out. So the guy who I gave it to, I text them and I'm like, hey, you know, Cassie and I want to come see the gym. Um, is it okay if we came this weekend? What does that look like? I knew that when I left the gym a year and a half ago that the landlords didn't really want me around anymore. But it's been a year and a half, and you would think grown-ups would be grown-ups and they would move along. So the current owner connected with the landlords and they're like, hey, I know that you didn't want Jerry around before, but he wants to come see the gym. What do you guys think about that? And they said no. Said, nope, not allowed to come. He can't come see the place. He can't be on the property, blah, blah, blah. And that just happened today. So 18 months later, these grown-ups have decided that they want to continue to hold this grudge and they want to continue down this path. Now you can tell, yes, I'm getting worked up about it. And this is why I'm talking about today eliminating negative people from your life, because this was my life and feeling for many years being at that facility and renting from them. This was a lot of my life and a lot of the feeling and energy, negative energy that I had. Now the energy that I have right now isn't negative per se. There's a lot of like, it's one of those things like, I don't want to, like, you're grown-ups. All right, I'm going down a rabbit hole. So why is it important to eliminate negative people then from your life? When I made that shift, I remember specifically, and there were a number of other negative things, of course, going on in my life, but I remember specifically when I decided to leave the gym, I remember a very calming feeling. And I asked myself why I had that calm feeling. And of course, it was like, there's a lot going on at the gym, and I've dealt with it, and I feel like it's time to move forward. So like I feel calm about that. And there were other things. One of them, again, was that I was not going to have this negative force constantly pushing on me. This negative vibration constantly being around, because they were in the same building with us. So I had to see them all the time and be around them all the time. And just the thought of having this big negative cloud removed was relaxing and calming. And since then, eliminating the biggest negative forces from my life, my energy, my vibrational energy has increased significantly. Now, I've done a lot of work over that 18 months because, like I said, I was going through a divorce at the same time. So left the gym, went through a divorce. The divorce, I was married for 10 years as well. So big changes that I made. And like I said, a lot of shifts going on. And I did a lot of work, and I did a lot of soul searching, and I did a lot of thinking and how I want to change and how I want to move forward and how I want to perceive things and the type of people that I want to have in my life. And the more I thought about it, the more it came down to, the more that I believe that when you eliminate negative forces from your life becomes clear. Your mind becomes clear. Your thoughts become clear. Your path becomes clear. Your vibrational energy goes up. Your anxiety goes down. All of these things improve to a significant degree, and you don't realize it until that person or those people are out of your life. So many of us have somebody or some buddies in our lives that we keep around for whatever reason, because they're family, because we've been friends since high school, because they're part of the group. For whatever reason, we continue to hang around these type of people. You know exactly what I mean whenever you are maybe planning on going out with a group of friends and they're like, oh yeah, Tommy's going to be there. And you're like, fuck, Tommy's going to be there. And then you second guess actually going. Or whenever you go to a family outing for the holidays or whatever, and it's like, oh, I can't wait to be there except for Aunt Sally's going to be there. Fuck, Aunt Sally's going to be there and I'm going to have to deal with her. Not a good feeling. Or even if you have your own friend who it's like, a lot of the times they're negative, and they have like this little this piece that you're like, oh, I love this piece of them, but like 60% or 70% of the time they still drain you. Even that person, you don't realize, if you reduce the amount of time or eliminate the amount of time that you're having with that person, the absolute clarity and calmness and relaxation that comes into your life, you don't know it until it's gone. So there are 3 ways that negative people impact your life, impact you literally as a person, and then your life in general. Number 1 is, of course, they drain your energy. Whenever you're around a friend, again, who most of the time, if you have a friend that like complains a lot, and you're just sitting there and you're listening, but in your mind you're going, shit, this person doesn't stop complaining. And by the time you leave them, you just feel like you want to go take a nap. You know what I mean by they're draining. If you've ever, again, gone to a holiday party and you have Aunt Sally who's over there talking with the group, and you're listening, and you're just sitting there like with your arms crossed, slouched in the chair, and you're just listening, and Aunt Sally's bitching and complaining about Donald Trump and about Doge and about the neighbor's dog next door pooping in her yard, and you're just like, oh my gosh. And you just get up and walk away, and you just feel tired just having sat there. You know exactly what I mean when I say negative people are draining. Negative people also take up mental capacity. You have to work to think about how you're going to deal with them. You have to work to think about how you're going to be social, if you're going to be social. And that takes up, number 1, drains your energy, but just takes up mental capacity. That person is in your head, or those people are in your head all the time. Maybe not every second of the day, of course, but if you're going to be in their vicinity, then that vibration is there. Going back to my example, literally I was at the gym every day except maybe Sunday. And even many Sundays I was at the gym. So I was there every day. And the landlords were there pretty much every day except maybe the weekend. So every day that I would pull up, if I saw one of their cars, my mind automatically would just start this negative vibration, this negative feeling. It would just kind of clamp down, because if I knew I saw one of them, then I would just have to, not have to, but like most of the time I just smile and nod and try and get through the interaction without, something happening. And that's not a good feeling. And you don't recognize the capacity that takes up in your mind, again, until it is gone, until that person is out of your life. If we go back to the example of having a friend who's part of your group who is a negative person and just bitches and complains all the time, and that person is going to be at dinner tonight, then you either are going to second guess going to dinner, or the whole time you're there, you're going to think about how much that person is annoying you, or like, where am I going to sit? How can I sit on the other side of the table? Or can we get a separate table so we don't have to sit with Tommy, so we don't have to listen to Tommy bitch the whole time? And that just is another layer of energy that continues to pull from you. So it has energy draining, and takes up your mental capacity. And then lastly, I keep saying vibrational energy and vibrational frequency, but it is important to understand how much that affects your vibrational energy or vibrational frequency. And in order to understand that, I'll explain a little bit of what that means. And the reason that I'm only explaining a little bit is because I am still very much understanding it myself. But from a very basic level, everything gives off energy. Everything, this camera that I'm staring at, this video that you're watching, or audio that you're listening to, the people that you're around, the pencil that you hold in your hand, the phone you hold in your hand, everything gives off energy in some way, shape, or form, in some capacity. People especially give off a vibrational energy. by vibrational, I don't mean like some woo-woo term. All atoms are vibrating. That's what energy is. It is a tiny, itty-bitty vibration. And if you are vibrating more positively or vibrating at a certain frequency, a higher frequency, your energy, your atoms are vibrating differently than if you are vibrating at a lower or more negative frequency. That you're literally going to have a different vibration or feeling. If you're in a room and someone with a negative energy walks in and you feel the energy in the room go down, that's what's happening. They're dissipating their negative energy. If you're in that same room and someone with a lot of energy walks in and everybody knows this person, they're very gregarious and everyone likes them, then the energy goes up. They are literally, again, throwing out their vibrational energy to everybody. So it is a very real thing, and it's very necessary to pay attention to if you want to improve your energy in life. And these people are constantly throwing their negative vibrational energy on you. Anytime you're in their bubble, and depending on how much they bother you, that bubble may stretch out further and further. But anytime you're in their bubble, that vibrational energy is seeping into you in some way, shape, or form. Now, that affects you in many ways. It increases your stress, it increases your anxiety, even at a minimal level. It then will increase your inflammation. It'll affect your hormone levels at some level. It'll affect your cortisol levels at some level. And it'll affect many other biological processes in your body, your mitochondrial health, and so on and so forth. And you're like, Jerry, how could being around somebody affect my mitochondrial health and affect my biological health? How is that going to happen? When your atoms are vibrating at a more negative capacity, the mitochondria in them, the things that keep them healthy, that's your mitochondria, will dissipate. They will become weaker. They will not be able to fight off things as effectively. That will happen. I can tell you again from experience that over the last 18 months to 2 years, as I have reduced the amount of time that I spend with negative people. As a matter of fact, I would argue that at this point in my life, I have almost eliminated my contact with the negative people that I've had in my life in the past and have chosen to not have regular contact with negative people moving forward. And I will only have contact with people who uplift me, who add value to my life. You can call that selfish. You can call it whatever the fuck you want to call it. But that's all what we all want that. We all want the people in our lives that uplift us, that make us feel like we can accomplish things, that connect with us. That's why you hang out with a certain group. That's why you hang around with certain people. That's what we all want in our lives. So eliminating negative people from your life is it is a selfish thing, to be sure. But we're all human beings and we're all selfish and we are constantly ongoing making selfish decisions. The question is, are you going to make it to better your life or are you going to make it to fit in with society? And fitting in with society means keeping the people in your life that you have in your life just for the fuck of it, for whatever reason, because society tells you it's bad to, eliminate people from your life. Well, fuck society, and you get to decide what that means. At any rate, since I have done that, my mental clarity has improved because those people are not taking up mental capacity. My energy has improved because those people are not draining my energy. My thinking has improved because I'm not having to my mind's not like, oh, how do I work around this person? Or how do I deal with this stupid problem that is absolutely ridiculous, that is being caused by these human beings that are just freaking 12-year-old adults that think that they know what they're doing. How do you do that? And that's not a way to live life. And again, I'm whatever, because this instance happened so soon. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I can tell you, again, when you decide to remove people from your life and reduce the amount of time that you spend with negative people, your life just gets better. So how do you do this? How do you actually start taking steps to eliminate negativity from your life? more specifically, eliminating negative people from your life, it is very simple. Not easy, not easy, but simple. So you can just choose to do it and just stop hanging around with them and stop being around them, just cold turkey style. You can titrate down or reduce the amount of time that you're spending with them. Say no more often. You can have a conversation with them. If they're the type of person that's like complains a lot, but like they still have this other side to them that's rational and thinks like a human, maybe you can talk to them and say, hey, I enjoy our relationship a lot of the time, but it's also draining a lot of the time. And here's why, and here's what's going on. And either they'll go, oh, well, you're an asshole and I don't want to be around you anymore. In which case, perfect, you solved the problem. Or they'll go, well, I didn't realize that was happening. I have been having things going on in my life. I didn't realize I was complaining about them as much or bitching about them as much. So thank you for telling me. If that's the case, then they're a friend that's worth having in your life because they're listening to what you're saying. So it's not more complex than that. And I'm not saying that you should eliminate, again, like human beings have a thing called negativity bias. So everyone has, of course, times where they are negative. So you're not reducing every bit of, like, anytime someone says something negative, it's not like, look, got to eliminate that person. It's not what we're talking about here. That's not what I'm saying. It is the people who chronically bring anxiety and stress into your life, who chronically bring negativity to your life, who chronically, when you're around them, you're just like, fuck. Ugh. I don't know how I can continue to deal with this person. It's those people that we're talking about. And it is when you eliminate those people from your life that your life improves. Please take me seriously on this. The people that you surround yourself with is who you will become over time. That's what will happen. You will start to take on their habits both externally and internally, their habits of thinking, their habits of doing, their habits of being. You will start to take those on. And those negative people in your life, you take on their habits, their habit of thinking, their habit of doing, their habit of negativity. If you feel yourself not wanting to be that, then this is the step. This is what takes your life to that next level. Take it seriously and surround yourself with people who empower you. You have one life to live. You might as well spend it with fucking people who bring value to you and who enhance your life and who you're synergistic with. You enhance your life, they enhance your life, you enhance theirs, and you build something synergistic together. You do life together instead of bitch and complain about it. So, thanks for listening to me babble. This was also, admittedly, a little bit of a letting steam off for me. I look forward to getting to the other topic I was going to talk about because it was very important as well. But again, put this into practice. Bring people into your life that empower you and make you a better person and watch your life change. Thanks for listening to me babble, and until next time.